Bonjour les amis. Eh ben ce matin, je suis d'excellente humeur. Pourquoi? Parce que j'ai découvert hier soir une vidéo qu'a fait le docteur Eric Berg avec Siim, que je suis lui aussi depuis des années. Et je vous ai fait la traduction automatique en français et vous allez écouter juste ce petit morceau. Et vous allez, tout comme moi, être probablement impressionné de la manière dont Eric Berg a compris ce que je cherche à faire et à quel point sa réactivité est phénoménale.
In the area of cancer, when you're doing fasting, and fasting in general, if we just talk about fasting related to cancer, um, do you have any data that you can share with, I guess, both turning on certain genes and expressing certain genes and turning off other genes, as well as autophagy, because as you're cleaning up damaged mitochondria and DNA damage, you're going to basically help reduce the risk of cancer.
Yeah, the kind of current consensus, as I've seen from the researchers, is that autophagy is great for disease prevention and preventing yourself from getting sick from different kinds of diseases. Like it can protect against insulin resistance and atherosclerosis, as well as some malignant tumors and cancers. But at the same time, there's also a lot of research showing that in the presence of an already existing malignancy or a tumor, then the process of autophagy can also promote its survival, so to say, because autophagy is like I said, it's a recycling process, and it doesn't have like an objective judgment about what's good or what's bad, what's a good cell, what's a bad cell. So the idea is that the cancer cell is just going to steal the energy that gets created from autophagy, and it's going to use it for its own benefit. And if you inhibit the process of autophagy, then you can see that it could help to, in some cases, get rid of or let's starve out some of the cancer. So it's a very complex situation, and it's very context dependent. So not all cancers benefit from autophagy, and some of them can actually, die from it, whereas some others don't. So it's I wouldn't say that it's going to cure cancer, so to say. It's great for preventing yourself from getting sick and kind of keeping your house clean. But at the same time, if you're already sick, then I wouldn't place all of my bets on it. And the research also says, yeah, that there are potentially some negative side effects to it.
Got it. What about fasting in general? You have the starving off of glucose and glutamine, which cancer can consume, but also you have the expression of certain genes. Do you have any data on that as far as related to cancer? Turning off, genes that are related to triggering cancer or growing cancer?
Well, yeah, like for example, well, I do know that ketosis and fasting can inhibit HDACs, which are associated with aging and cancers as well. So they're histone deacetyl. I'm not sure what the full name is yet, but essentially they are these related inhibitors that can be caused with some diseases. But yeah, like autophagy is also like yeah, it promotes some other forms of health as well. Like usually autophagy is activated when you are under energy stress, and for example, it's turned on by this particular pathway or the fuel sensor called AMPK, which promotes the kind of fuel mobilization of the entire body, as well as ketosis, and that has been shown to have like like anti-aging effect as well as a disease protection.
Okay. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I had a very interesting person call me. He's been studying autophagy and fasting and keto, and about a few years ago he came down with a diagnosis of prostate cancer stage 4, spread metastasis to his bones and his He started getting bone pain through the rib cage and spread all over through his body. And not only did he already have diabetes and every other symptom, metabolic disease, but he came down with this cancer. And so the doctor said, sorry, we can give you some drugs for the pain, but there's nothing we can do. He goes to 3 different doctors, and then he starts going on YouTube. He starts studying on YouTube and learns about fasting. So, you know, he's a pretty smart guy because there's some data that was shown that if you fast for too long, you can deprive yourself of nutrients, and that doesn't help the immune system. That can actually make things worse. So what he did is he did a 45-day fast. Now normally you wouldn't go that long, but he did because he wasn't hungry and he had a lot of weight to tap into. But what he did is something that I don't think there's a lot of research on, and I think there's a little bit of data on, but it's hard to find it. He just took a lot of nutrients while he was fasting, because, you know, when people say you're going to do a true fast, you're not going to take anything else. Well, he took a lot of nutrients, and he also took concentrated phytonutrients like out of garlic and turmeric and several other ones that were, you know, they've been known to help to inhibit the formation of cancer. So he was doing all that, and for 45 days. And so he went back to the doctor, and the bone cancer was gone. It was negative, and so was his prostate cancer. And so he is. The doctors just don't know what to don't know what to even think of it. You know, you would think they would be like, "Wow, let's find out what you did." They weren't even interested. But anyway, he wanted to tell me a story. I did an interview on him. I'm going to release the video probably on Monday. But fascinating data on what happened to his body when he did a 45-day fast with nutrients. I mean, out of all the people that I know that had stage 4, I've never met anyone who survived. I don't know. Have you?
No, not really. And it's like a really, I've also heard like similar stories where people go on this very long fast and even do things like dry fasting and those things. But yeah, like I would imagine that, you know, giving your body some of those nutrients is also very beneficial because, you know, some of those compounds that you mentioned, like the turmeric, it can also promote further autophagy as well. So these different compounds, polyphenolic compounds and plant compounds, ginger, cinnamon, cayenne pepper, you know, berberine, they also can turn on autophagy and have like other medicinal benefits.
Yeah, fascinating. So yeah, I'm just learning all about, like, learning exactly what he did, because obviously it worked for him, and it's some great data. But yeah, so I'll share some of the stuff that he found that I've never even heard before. He found some data, and I don't know if you've ever heard this, that there's some differences between the ketones that are generated from fasting versus the ketones that are generated from diet. Have you ever heard that before?
Yeah, like the only difference that I've seen has to do with some of the ratios between NAD and NADH as well. So, for example, for clarification, NAD is like this coenzyme in the body that's involved with virtually all processes, and especially in the metabolism. And NAD is fluctuating, or it's cycled between NAD plus and NADH. And you know, if your energy is, let's say, lower, your energy status is lower, like when you are fasting, then your NAD is higher than NADH. Whereas if you're eating, then your NADH is higher. And NAD is like a role in anti-aging and just general longevity. So the older you get, the less NAD you have, and the sicker you are, the also less NAD you have. So that's why probably fasting can help with you know, raising your NAD levels. And the way it does it is by promoting the recycling of NAD, because NAD is like the majority of your NAD on a daily basis is being created from this the salvage pathway, which is not derived from diet. It's that derived from the recycling of the energy, and fasting as well as exercise are one of the most the best ways of going about it, because the AMPK that I mentioned is needed for turning on that salvage pathway. So you need to do something that puts on like energy stress on the system in order to regenerate your NAD.
That's fascinating, because you'll have people that are trying out keto, and instead of going on the keto diet, they take some exogenous ketones and as a supplement, they think they're really doing keto and they're going to get all the benefits.
Donc, comme vous avez pu constater, eh ben, Siim Land confirme donc avec des explications précises que ce que j'ai fait, ce que j'ai subodoré, ce que j'ai découvert, ce n'était pas des âneries, qu'il y aurait une différence entre les corps cétoniques issus du régime et des corps cétoniques issus du jeûne. Il constate aussi que le fait que je sois encore en vie est la prise des nutriments. Et donc, voilà, rien d'autre à rajouter. Je pense que, encore une fois, dommage que les seuls qui ne veulent pas écouter, c'est le ministère de la Santé français et l'INCa. Merci pour cette petite vidéo. Au revoir. Merci à Eric Berg et à Siim Land, bien évidemment. Au revoir les amis.